Many of us are feeling anxious due to the coronavirus epidemic. On the one hand, a small amount of anxiety is okay and can actually help us take the necessary precautions to protect ourselves and our communities by slowing down the spread of the virus. Normally, when we plan and take the necessary precautions, then the anxiety subsides. Panic and fear, on the other hand, can be harmful to our emotional and mental well-being, especially when we stay in a fearful state for long periods of time. We've heard stories of people panicking and buying up large amounts of toilet paper, or the recent case where a man was attacked because people thought he had the coronavirus. These types of behaviors and responses happen when the survival brain takes over and our thinking, rational brain shuts down in the face of perceived threat. To help us understand this response, let's talk about the basic structures of the brain. We'll talk about three main structures of the brain to keep things simple. The first is the survival brain, which consists of the brainstem and the cerebellum. The survival brain controls basic survival functions like breathing, heart rate, appetite, sleep-wake cycles. The survival brain is also responsible for the fight, flight, and freeze response when we are in danger. The second part is the limbic system or emotional brain, which is a center of learning and emotions. The threat detector, known as the amygdala, is found in the limbic system. The amygdala assesses situations for signs of danger and sends out messages so we can act to protect ourselves. The last part is the frontal lobe that coordinates the functions of all the other parts. We will call this the thinking brain. This is the part that's in charge of planning, analyzing, decision-making, problem-solving, and attention, among other functions. The thinking brain is flexible and has infinite learning possibilities. It also consumes a lot of energy. When we're feeling calm and grounded, all the parts of the brain are working together. When we experience a situation that is threatening, our emotional brain sends messages that activate our fight or flight and freeze response. It also turns down the thinking brain so it does not hinder our ability to respond quickly. When the fight or flight response is activated, we experience an increased heart rate, blood pressure, and increased blood flow in the big muscles, so we can act accordingly. In contrast, there is decreased blood flow to the digestive tract and small muscles. When we are in this fight or flight response, our focus narrows to ways we can attack or get away from the threat. We can also go into a freeze response where our body goes into energy conservation mode and we shut down. All these responses are useful and adaptive when we are in danger. Usually when the danger passes, we are able to turn off the threat response and go back to normal functioning. When we experience prolonged toxic stress, we lose the ability to switch off this stress or threat response, so we stay in a heightened state of alert all the time, which is detrimental to our well-being. In this state, we are irritable, reactive, and can easily become aggressive. In this state, situations or things that are not dangerous tend to be seen as dangerous, and we react with a survival response. We might do things that seem irrational, not realizing that those are fear-based survival responses. So how can we calm down our fear response? One way is through mindfulness practice. Controlled breathing and other forms of meditation and mindfulness practice can help calm down our nervous system and help us feel grounded. Try taking some deep breaths while sitting or laying down in a peaceful and comfortable place. Breathe in slowly through your nose to a count of 4. Hold for a second or 2. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth, like you're whistling, to a count of 8. If you cannot breathe out to a count of 8, you can start with 5, then work your way up to 8. Repeat 5 times. Practice this controlled breathing exercise a few times a day and notice the difference it makes.